Now, I know you're wondering, what is Dokkan Battlefield? What is that? New mode, PvP? No. In all seriousness, it's an old mode that was already in the game. We're going to talk about it. So we're going to speculate when it could potentially come back to the Japanese version of the game and be introduced to the global version of the game. I'm going to show you guys some gameplay and why it's important. Let's get into the video. So for the duration of the video, I'm going to be showing you guys some of the older gameplay that I had because it's unfortunately impossible, right, to get gameplay of the mode right now because it's simply not live for anybody to get. So I'm going to show you guys some gameplay. I will also leave my initial first impressions, kind of like explainer video in the description if you're curious about learning more about the game mode and how it plays and things like that, aside from just kind of like the gameplay, because you can't really, get my full commentary from that. So Dokkan Battlefield is a mode that is primarily used to awaken LR Gohan and acquire along with awakening LR Ginyu. So there are also a bunch of other units that use those clash medals that would Dokkan awaken through that event necessarily as well. So that being said, what is it? Aside from that, it is a mode that's kind of like a tower defense, kind of like you deploy units. It's kind of randomized, but you deploy units, you select up to 100, you deploy them, and then they go and try to break the enemy's barrier, and then you try to break the enemy's barrier before they can break your barrier. Now, this mode has not come back to JP in like 4 or 5 months minimum, right? So it's been a long time, and like I said, the mode is primarily used to awaken a lot of units, and also you get the parallels of people that are like, hey, well, I have LR Gohan, talking about JP right now, we'll get to the global in a minute. I have LR Gohan and I can't awaken him, or I want to get LR Ginyu, or I have the transcended UR Ginyu and I can't make him LR yet because, this event's been gone. It's basically been gone so long that Ginyu lost his top LR title, or top free-to-play LR. I don't know if he still is at this point, but anyways, he's up there. So it's been a long time, and the emote has actually never come to the global version of the game. Now, if you were around when they came to the Japanese version of the game back in like February, LR Gohan and this mode basically came out together. I mean, Dokkan Battlefield was heavily promoted as like this cool new mode coming to Dokkan. I believe it was even in the V-Jump where they had scans and all that. We were all hyped about it. We're like, yes, something really refreshing, because it wasn't like, we get a whole lot of Dokkan's dead and Dokkan's boring stuff now, despite the fact that the game can jump to #1 in the App Store at the drop of a hat, which is not an easy thing to do, but I digress. We get a lot of that now, but back then it wasn't as prevalent, so it wasn't as common. A lot of people weren't feeling that way. Now, it was still refreshing to have come out, but I will tell you that I don't think that it was very fun. After like a week, it just got like bleh. And then it's a massive grind. It's super tedious. You could easily spend 30 minutes minimum playing the mode with very minimal payoff, for the rewards. And there are a slew of rewards that you can still see on the Japanese version of the game. If you go to the barber shop, you can still see them. I may even show some gameplay of that. But you can still see the rewards there. Now, like I said, it came out in February. Gohan came with it. That never came to the global version of the game. So this is what Global did instead. They decided to release Gohan differently, right? People are saying he's going to be on the Max banner and the Rebirth banner. Based off of JP, I would say yeah, but based off of what Global does, I'd say I don't know, because Global tends to do things in this really weird fashion. It's like almost like they're trying to make a statement, hey, we're not the same game, when you are technically the same game. So I don't know. But either way, they introduced him on this individual banner that was basically locked behind summons on another banner because you need tickets for that. And then at the same time, because they know that you need these medals, they put these medals on the banner with him, which everything from the tickets to the medals is all randomized. So if you were one of the unlucky few, which I was trying to warn people this would probably happen, and it did, if you're one of the unlucky few that didn't or couldn't, they're both the same thing in this context, continue to summon on that banner for more of those clash medals to awaken LR Gohan. I'm talking about Global here. You're basically stuck with the TUR Gohan at this point, who can't, get his +1 key passive, and, he's not as good as the overall LR Gohan. Or you could have been like super unlucky Like, I think Living Ichigo got super unlucky, has like 100 medals and never got Gohan, whatever. So that could have happened as well. Now, the reason why we need this mode, because like I said, is that it came with the Clash medals and you can actually get them from there. Now, don't be mistaken. Gohan and Ginyu are not the only reason to play this. There's Elder Kais you can get from this, and there are other units that Dokkan awaken. If you look at the video I put out earlier today, I kind of go over it in the Super 17 video. It was actually kind of yesterday, depending on when I upload this, but you get what I'm saying. I go over some of the banners, and there's a specific Rebirth banner in there with like Nova Shenron, Physical Goku, Spirit Bomb Goku, and like some other guys that use these medals, and they can't awaken. So that's another reason why we need the mode. Now, if you look at Global's trajectory, if you think it's on any sort of timetable, it's on at least about a 5-minute gap between the Japanese and global version of the game. Don't be mistaken. They're not going to do this collaborative thing very often where they release units at the same time. And if they do, it's highly plausible we get another to be released, right? So the simple reality is Global came out 6 months after the Japanese version of the game, and it'll basically almost always be within a 3-month to 6-month window behind the Japanese version. So Rhymestyle speculated to me recently that in our group chat that maybe Battlefield is being held back as a mode that they're going to actually make into a PvP mode, which it would make sense. I wouldn't like it so much because I don't like the mode, but it would make sense. Maybe it would be more fun if you're playing against somebody specific. But one thing to understand is that it came out on JP as a beta. They run all this sort of stuff on JP. JP is basically like the testing grounds. And then when it comes to Global, it's basically the finished product and it's good to go. What this says to me is, based on the fact that it has not come back, and both of the times it came to JP, and like I said, the last time it came was like in May. It's been a long time. Both the time it came, it was actually in beta for the Japanese version of the game. Now, I don't know why they can't also run a beta test on the global version, but it is what it is. I'm not going to get into the semantics. They didn't do it. That's all that matters. Does this mean that they're not done developing the mode? It wasn't glitchy. It wasn't bad. I don't know if they're looking at the analytics and trying to find a way to make it better, because everybody I know played it and then stopped playing it. You know, I didn't bother to make a video for it. The second time it came around, I think most of us didn't. The first time it came, we all did. The second time, it's like, nah, we're not even going to play it. So I don't know if they're looking at that information and trying to basically fix up the mode and then finalize it. Now, the problem with Global is that, and this isn't even like a content thing, is that everything that gets done, all these quality of life updates, they're just an app version. They are not locked to when a unit releases. They're not locked behind this massive amount of time that you have to wait. The training system JP got could be on Global today if they wanted to do it. When a PvP system comes out on Dokkan, which I feel like it's inevitable at this point, it's going to come to JP first, most likely. And then you'll have to wait months for it to come to Global, when in reality, it probably could come at the same time, because if you have any history of programming, the only real thing that will be a hiccup there is translation. And if you could translate cards, you could translate a mode. That's that simple. Well, pretty much. Anyways, you know, there's that. And then aside from that, all these other little quality of life updates take a while. So what I think will happen, because I don't think that they made this mode just to scrap it, promoted it just to scrap it and never use it again. What I think will happen, it'll come back to the Japanese version of the game, because I feel like it's faulty for them to continue to sell Gohan on JP, for example, because he hasn't been acquirable since on Global. I feel like it's faulty for them to continue to sell that unit, right, and not have a way to actually awaken him. So they're going to have to bring that mode back out. They're going to have to. It's also faulty to put a unit as good as LR Ginyu and lock him behind that. They're going to have to bring it out. So what I think will happen, to get into the crux of the video and end it up here, is that they are basically going to finish the mode, finalize it, bring it out, whether it's as a PvP mode, or they're going to bring it out alongside a PvP mode, or maybe they'll even run another beta test. I don't know. But they're going to do something with it. And I think it's going to be sooner rather than later, because it's been a very long time. They're going to bring it out, complete the mode, and then it'll finally come to Global. And then from there, I think it'll be a long-standing thing, or it'll wind up being something like the World Tournament. Speaking of the World Tournament, I don't think they have much confidence in that mode. Global consistently gets them every month. I think that's because they're either trying to catch up to JP's World Tournament schedule, or I think they're just going to like be done with the World Tournament or something. because JP hasn't had a world tournament in months. They don't even bother with it on JP. Like, if you look at the trajectory of this game, they're not doing anything. It's all Dokkan events, and that's it. If you don't pull the unit, there's no real reason to play the game. So, I don't know. But, like I said, I feel like that's when Dokkan Battlefield will come out. There are so many units that are locked to it. Global can't even awaken most of them. In fact, any of them, unless you got these medals. But also, they're holding back the awakening of those units. So that makes me think that they'll either bring out the finalized version on Global, either that or like a beta or something. I don't think they'll do the beta, but probably the finalized version. Or they'll simply allow for the medals to be acquirable again. Maybe they'll bring like a once-a-day farm stage that lets you get a few of them or something of that nature. I think a lot of people would appreciate that because there are some really solid units that awaken that you just simply can't awaken. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Would you be interested in playing Dokkan Battlefield for what it is and not for farming up Gohan medals? Because I feel like most people wanted for that. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Like I said, in the description should be a video you can check out to get a little bit more in-depth explanation on the mode and a little bit more gameplay. Have an awesome day. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.